Learn why it's not just about the hot flash, it's how the hot flash shows up and the symptoms that come along with them. So before we begin, I want you to think about your hot flashes. Do they come with anxiety, poor sleep, irritability, exhaustion? As we go through the 5 common patterns, see if you recognize yourself. Hi, I'm Dr. Tanya Kellaway. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, and I've been helping people understand their health through the lens of traditional Chinese medicine for over 16 years. One of the things I love most about traditional Chinese medicine is that it doesn't just look at symptoms, it looks at patterns. Because 2 people can have the same symptom and experience something completely different underneath. So nowhere is that more apparent than during perimenopause. Let's take a look at the 5 common hot flash patterns I see in clinic. The exhausted type. In traditional Chinese medicine, this pattern is often associated with kidney yin deficiency. These people often experience hot flashes, especially in the evening, night sweats, dry skin, dry eyes, vaginal dryness, poor sleep, feeling like their energy reserves are running low. Many women describe it as a kind of fatigue, not the kind that disappears after a good night's sleep, more like the feeling that they've been giving and giving for years and aren't replenishing themselves the way they used to. Do you recognize yourself in this pattern? Let's look at another pattern, the anxious type. This pattern is often associated with heart yin deficiency. These women experience hot flashes alongside anxiety, a racing mind, restlessness, difficulty falling asleep, waking through the night, and sometimes palpitations. Often women tell me, I've never had anxiety before, or I can't shut my brain off. For these people, the hot flashes may not even be the most bothersome symptom. It's a feeling that their nervous system is always switched on. Do you recognize yourself in this pattern? Before we move on, I want to mention something important. You may recognize yourself in more than one of these patterns. In fact, most people do. Very few people fit perfectly into a single category. You might see yourself in the exhausted type and the anxious type, or the frustrated type and the depleted type. The goal isn't to find the perfect category. The goal is to start noticing the clues, to be curious, to start data collecting. Because the more information you gather, the easier it becomes to understand the bigger picture of what's happening in your body. Now let's look at another common pattern I see in clinic, the frustrated type. This pattern is often associated with liver fire and liver yang rising. These people experience irritation, frustration, rage, tension headaches, feeling overwhelmed, and a shorter fuse than they used to have. Many women tell me, I don't even recognize myself. I have no patience left. And honestly, when you think about it, the stage of life many women are going through, it's not hard to understand why. Careers, children, aging parents, relationships, households, and often very little time left for themselves. Do you recognize yourself in this pattern? Let's look at another common hot flash pattern, the depleted type. This pattern is often associated with blood deficiency. These women may have hot flashes, but they often describe as well as having fatigue, brain fog, dizziness, poor concentration, feeling ungrounded, and a sense they are running on empty. Many women describe it as feeling like They just don't have enough in the tank. Their body is asking for nourishment, restoration, and support. Do you recognize yourself in this pattern? Let's look at one final pattern, the inflamed type. This pattern is often associated with damp heat. These women may experience hot flashes, digestive issues, vaginal irritation, urinary urgency, burning sensation, a feeling of heat and heaviness at the same time. This pattern reminds us that not all heat comes from the same place. Sometimes heat develops because something is stuck. Do you recognize yourself in this pattern? One of the things I tell people all of the time in clinic is that I need them to become good at data collecting. Because while I may see you for an hour, you're living in your body 24/7. You're the one noticing when the hot flashes happen. You're the one noticing what comes with them. You're the one noticing whether they're worse at night, whether connected to anxiety, irritability, poor sleep, exhaustion, digestion changes, or something else entirely. Those details matter. In traditional Chinese medicine, we use those clues to understand patterns. We call this pattern differentiation. The goal isn't simply to treat a symptom. The goal is to understand the pattern underneath the symptom. Because the better we understand the pattern, the better we can choose the support that we have to offer. That's why I don't just want you to notice that you're having hot flashes. I want you to get curious. What else is happening? What comes before them? What comes after them? What else is your body trying to tell you? Because your symptoms aren't random. And the more information you gather, the easier it becomes to see the bigger picture. Your body is communicating. Your symptoms are clues. And the more you learn to notice those clues, the easier it becomes to understand the patterns underneath them. So this week, I want you to do a little data collecting. Notice your hot flashes. Notice when they happen. Notice what comes with them. Notice how they affect your sleep, your mood, your energy, and your day. You may start seeing patterns you never noticed before. And if you recognize yourself in one of these patterns, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear which one resonates with you. If you'd like to learn more about perimenopause through the lens of traditional Chinese medicine, make sure you subscribe. Until next time, stay curious and keep data collecting.